I'm Jody Avergan. Have you heard of Blue Apron? Well, now you have. Blue Apron's mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone. The country's #1 fresh ingredient and recipe service, fresh, high-quality ingredients make the difference, so it's important to know where your food comes from. Plus, it's affordable, easy, and full of surprises. Check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals for free with free shipping. You will love how good it tastes and feels to create home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. Go to blueapron.com/30 for 30.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Give me your boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, doe?
I'm David Jacoby.
Take a deep breath. Reg isn't here today.
Oh, no.
Let's make sure that our new guy, Brad, understands before, like all great singers, when I get behind a microphone and I'm in the booth, gotta have a beat ready to go. In on the cool check-in. Center stage on the mic.
Oh, Brad didn't. Reggie, not putting that on Reggie. You know, Reggie's got car problems, you know what I mean? But all Reggie had to do all he had to do was just tell his replacement that there's this one thing that we do in the intro. It's very controversial. We've got about a 30% success rate with it. It's after Jalen says on the cool check-in center stage on the mic, you push the button that has the Beastie Boys put it on wax. I think this might be it.
And Reg.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
We're Jalen Jacoby. What do we do?
I'm not singing. We get the people what they want. Hit the brakes.
Hit
the brakes to start the show.
I want to talk to start the show. Jalen, one of the things I learned, and you learned a lot playing 13 years of NBA basketball, not just about basketball, but about life. I learned a lot playing 20 years of rec league mediocre basketball. And one thing I learned is I was always so quick to criticize my teammates after games, especially criticize people that play my position after loss. You get frustrated. Why did he do that? Why does he shoot so much? Why does he continue to do this? Blah, blah, blah. One time I remember walking out of the gym, the Trevor Day School on the Upper West Side, saying to myself, I'm always so quick to try to criticize everybody else after these losses, but I really need to look in the mirror and criticize myself first. That's where I need to go with this. And I've got, within arm's reach, this button that makes this noise.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
So life lesson for all Jalen Jacoby listeners. I was so quick to call out Reg for not supplying Brad with the right information. So quick to call out Brad for not being prepared. When really, I had the ability to solve that problem myself and I did not. That's on me. Now I'll hit the brakes.
Because Reggie is now a celebrity, the third member of the program, just like I had to put it on wax that he had never seen paid in full, I have to just talk to him publicly. I've never seen a guy miss a day at work because he had car problems.
Oh, no. We're doing this?
When your car breaks down, you call AAA, you do whatever you got to do, you take the car to get fixed, you take a taxi, you Uber, you have somebody pick you up, you do a David Jacoby, you get on a bike, do whatever you got to do to still get to work. If I have an issue with my vehicle, guess what happens? I still do Jalen and Jacoby.
Oh.
I still do NBA Countdown.
Look, I mean, first of all, Reg, I would never do this to you on wax, but A, you're not going to listen to this pod. B, Jalen already started it, so I'm blaming him. He texted me at 9:19 like he got a flat tire in the morning. It's now in the afternoon. It's a flat tire. Like, what do you mean? I understand.
What is he doing? Carrying the car on his back?
No, there's two types of dudes in the world, okay? There's people that can fix a flat on their own with no professional help and people that can't. I am very firmly planted in the latter, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I blame it on living in New York City for a long time. I just don't. Look, I took auto shop in high school. If I was in the desert stranded, I could figure it out. It would probably take me an hour and a half. I would hopefully have some YouTube signals, some cell signals so I could look it up on YouTube. But if I had to, without my phone, I could fix a flat tire. But in today's day and age, A flat tire is not a 6-hour problem, Reginald. We're going to have to talk to him about this tomorrow. We'll do an update on this tomorrow. But we always say we give the people what they want on this show. So what we do is we open up our phone lines. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us voicemails. We'll take them there. If you follow Jalen at Jalen and Jacoby, you can write us Twitter questions. We'll take those there. Also, you can go to reddit.com/r/Jalen and Jacoby, or just search Jalen and Jacoby Reddit, and you'll find our Reddit community. I'm on there every day checking out what people are talking about. First question we have is from Twitter. It is from Brian Smith. Soft move or boss move, eating all your fries before you eat your burger?
I've done that multiple times. I'll call it a boss move.
Oh, it's unfathomable to me. Because one of the things I like about a burger is its heat and its juiciness and its greasiness. I don't want it to lose any of its heat, but it takes me a while to eat all the fries. You know what I mean? Like that's a 7-minute proposal. I can't just wolf down the fries.
Let me teach you something, sir. I have to teach you something.
Okay.
Have you eaten cold chicken?
I've eaten cold everything.
You've eaten cold burger? You've eaten cold pizza?
Yeah, I've watched cold pizza.
Let me tell you, I was on that show before.
Me too.
Let me tell you what you don't like cold. French fries.
Now Brian has led this to an interesting conversation. Is the heat of your French fries more important than the heat of your burger? I would say yes. I would say that is absolutely true. You know what I mean? Because I like that. I like that. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do what everybody else does. I'm gonna have a couple fries, have a couple bites, have a couple fries, have a couple bites, because that's how you eat burger and fries. I think it's what everybody does. Let's be honest.
I like the way I opened up your head and your heart.
You did.
On that topic.
Also, I have just another culinary tip for everybody out there. Something I've learned over the years. If a salad is part of your meal, whether you're at a restaurant or at a home, if you're at somebody else's house, you don't get to choose. But at your own house or a restaurant, make sure that the salad comes out first. Because if you have a salad come out at the same time you get the burger and fries, I'm not touching the salad. There's no way I'm touching it. I might have 2 forkfuls just to make myself feel like I got the money's worth. But you need the salad first by itself, so you have only the salad on an empty stomach. That's how you eat the entire salad, every single vegetable, and then you get the rest of the food.
I see why we've been a successful production for 6 years via pod, radio, and television, because we so much alike, yet so very different in intricacies. Let me just explain something to you.
Okay.
The person that's eating a burger and fries at the same time isn't even eating a salad. They don't go together.
What I'm saying is I will oftentimes order a salad to go with my meal, but I need it to be alone and I need it to be first, or else I will not eat it, especially in my house. Like when I'm at the house, and if there is a salad that's a part of it, I will eat the salad in the bowl before I even sit down at the table to eat the rest of it. I'll just eat it while I'm walking around the house changing diapers or whatever, because it's the only time I will eat the whole salad, because it'll just sit on the table being untouched while the delicious other morsels are there for the taking.
And I still go back to my original comment. The person that's eating burger and fries, because that's the example you gave, isn't eating a salad to go with it.
I love these conversations, but my man Dominic on Twitter is going to steer us into a little bit more comfortable ground for the ESPN audience. Should the Cavs fire Ty Lue if their troubles continue?
He's not the issue. They look like a slow basketball team.
Yep.
They can't rim protect.
Yep.
That isn't knocking down threes at a rapid rate.
Yep.
LeBron was terrific in the way he played at Washington.
Oh, I loved it.
Posting up.
I loved it.
Turning over both shoulders. I loved his calm, his demeanor.
I loved it.
He was making jump shots. And what did I get on television and say? It's great to see an all-time iconic performer put up a big game like this. But this is not a good sign for the Cavs.
That's what I'm saying. It was almost like LeBron was like, listen, I can do this, but I cannot do this 50 times during the regular season. We are going to have to get team victories, but just to remind everybody while everyone's talking about the Cavs falling apart, I can get us victories, but this is not a formula for success, me taking the ball every single possession and scoring.
But this is what I love about sports on every level, and why I encourage young people to play, the life lessons that come with it. Because on the outside looking in, you say, the Hawks beat the Cavs? Yes, they get paid to play basketball. They're the top individuals that carry uniforms, 450 of them. Mm-hmm. And if the Cavs have weaknesses, they get exploited and they get beat.
That's the way it works. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us voicemails. Ladies.
Hey, ladies.
You can leave us voicemails. We have exclusive Woman Crush Wednesdays where we only take voicemails from our female listeners. But until Wednesday, we have a mixed bag. Let's listen to the first voicemail.
Yo, Jalen and Jacoby. What up, though? This is Stevie T calling from Tokyo. Listen every day to the podcast. Love the show. Got a football question to ask both of yo. My expat friend Leon loves the Seahawks. Faux show. And I'm a longtime diehard Dolphins fanatic co. Seahawks ended last season 10-5-1 without beast mode. Fins 10-6, securing a playoff spot after beating Buffalo. Which team has a higher upside and or potential? And which will we see first in a future Super Bowl? Thank you, and keep getting them checks. Mo and Mo.
Stevie T from Tokyo.
I like that we're international. You know, we're the NBA. We're worldwide. The NFL is just American. I appreciate that.
To answer his question, which way do you want to go?
I would like to say one of them has a quarterback named Russell Wilson. The other has a quarterback named Jay Cutler, who, by the way, played really well. I watched all of the teams, including a Dolphins team that's outplayed expectations in a lot of ways. He completed his first 16 passes.
Jay Cutler wasn't the problem yesterday. I watched that game, the whole game. It was, it's the end of the day. I got the kids to bed and whatever. I was like, now I get some time for some football. And I was rooting for the Dolphins because I love underdogs. Shout out to Alex on our staff. And I was like, Jay Cutler is not the problem with this team. And then you also watch Jay Ajayi play. And you're looking at the same thing, and you're looking when you see Adrian Peterson get, what do you have, 155 carries yesterday? Like, I don't understand what they did with Ajayi or what he did to get them out of there, but certainly the problem is not Jay Cutler. But in
the future, however, if I had to answer the question, I would say Seattle, because that can happen this year based on what we've seen in the NFC. Other than Philadelphia and now Dallas that's coming on strong, those are the only teams to me that have distinguished themselves. I put Seattle in that class while Atlanta continues to struggle.
Jalen, did you forget that I'm now a Die Easy Rams fan? Did you forget that? Did you forget that? I don't know if you know that now I'm Rams for life with an asterisk on it.
And I'm glad you brought up the Rams. There's no reason why I should have left them out of this conversation also.
Hey, man, like that record is not a fluke.
And for those that don't know, let me just introduce them to somebody that may be the best player in football that you never heard of. Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm. Let's listen to another voicemail.
What's up, guys? This is Christian from Galveston, Texas. Anyway, I have a humble request that I need to ask of Mr. Rose. Been a long-time listener since the Jalen Rose report. Always listen to the pod. That's the only way I listen. I don't watch it on TV. But anyway, my humble request, may you please hang the dab onto the Raptors for today's show, please. It is 2017. It died 2 years ago. Why are still people doing it today? I don't understand. May you please do the honors, sir. Keep giving people what they want. Peace.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Christian, for listening to the show for as long as this has been the Jalen Rose report, and for understanding the concept. Now, Jalen, before you answer his question, I just want to recognize that this is certainly something that we have been discussing to potentially end the dab officially on the program. But the question I'm going to pose to you is the dab big enough to even be retired?
I love what you did there. Thank you for the call. Appreciate the support. I think because it's so corny, so cheesy, yet so mainstream, and it's gotten so out of control that, yes, we need to retire.
You think so? Like, I'm not going to retire fidget spinners on the show, because that's just a fad that comes and goes. But the dab does have some staying power.
No, the reason why is because it's from 8 to 80. Literally. Like, it is out of control. It's in sports. It's in classrooms. It's at the mall.
Hillary Clinton
it needs to go.
Hillary Clinton died on the campaign trail. I mean, I'm thinking, oh. All right. You know what, Christian?
And have you seen kids when they're showing football games or basketball games, they're in the background?
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, of course. Yeah, the power dab, quick dab, over dab. Yeah, I think that might have to happen.
We have a few
Christian.
things
Don't
that we're going to retire.
Jalen, Ixnay on the East Is
one.
Okay. Next, we have another voicemail.
Are the Hurricanes for real?
First of all, that was a very good impression of Are the Clippers for real guy. Now, are the Miami Hurricanes going to win the National Football Championship? No. Could they make a run to be considered for the playoffs? Yes. Are they going to make the playoffs? No. But does it look like so much fun to go to a Hurricane game? Yes, yes, and yes. I want to go to one of those football games. The weather's still nice. It's great out there. People are just enjoying themselves tailgating. I'm not going to speak on that one video that we all saw of that very curious interaction between one of the fans and a security officer, which looked extremely illegal to me, from my point of view. Let's just speak on it real quick. Let's just try not to get fired.
And now, the Don't Get Fired topic of the day.
Jalen, you saw the video I'm talking about?
Of course I did.
Okay. The young lady's extremely intoxicated. You're a security officer. You hear about an extremely intoxicated young lady starting arguments in the stands. You go down there. You find an extremely intoxicated young lady. She's extremely intoxicated. You have to act like you've been there before. You have to hold your calm. It's not about you. It's not about you being disrespected. It's not about you being struck. Let's just take gender out of it for a second. Let's just say it was a male that was intoxicated like that. That person is intoxicated. They're not behaving appropriately. You've got 4 security guards with you. They clearly need to be contained and removed. And during that containing process, anyone who's worked that job before understands that people tend to lash out verbally and potentially physically. And you need to have the mental fortitude to understand that it's not personal and it's not about you, and that you cannot retaliate in any way, shape, or form. Whether it is a man or a woman that you are retaliating against, you cannot do that in any way, shape, or form. Now, when you add the gender back into the equation, it becomes even more disgusting, in my opinion. Your thoughts, Mr. Rose?
You dropped the mic. There's nothing left for me to add.
Good.
I echo exactly how you feel. And yes, the U is for real. It's always a good time for me when Michigan and or the U are both in the, either one is in the top 10. It's going to be out of control the day they're both in the top 10 again.
Let's get people what they want.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm so happy, I feel like I can fly.
Disclaimer, you will not be able to fly by switching to Geico. This is against the laws of physics and nature. If you find yourself flying, please seek professional and or medical help immediately. In the unlikely event you find yourself flying, you might be a superhero, or a pigeon, or a superhero named Pidgewoman, who was bitten by a radioactive pigeon. If you are indeed Pidgewoman, Geico retains all licensing publishing rights in the event Pidgewoman the movie becomes a top-grossing Hollywood blockbuster.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
On Sunday night, James Harden gave the people of Houston what they want. He put up 56 points on the Utah Jazz, who have the 9th best defensive rating in the entire NBA. Jalen, this was a masterful performance that I really enjoyed watching. Did James Harden just remind everybody that he was the MVP runner-up last year and should be more in the conversation this year?
Is this the same Jazz defense that gave up 60 to Kobe in his final game?
Different defense. Completely different team.
Okay, Rudy Gobert's still the anchor.
Let's move on.
He's going to be a part of the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. They still have the same coach. Here's the deal. James Harden has been a terrific performer. One of the only guys that you will see that leads the league in total points and then leads the league in assists. How about being the only guy besides the Big O to score over 50 and have over 13 assists in the same game? And he's done that multiple times. Last year, he did it in a triple-double. So James Harden has been knocking on the MVP door. The problem is he's just coming second the last 2 years. A terrific performer, deserves not only to be in the MVP conversation, he's going to continue to be in what's considered the top 5 in the game for the way he's able to perform.
And it's the way he's doing it, too, and the team that's around him just seems so tailor-fit to him, because you watch the highlights of this game, it's like, all right, pick and roll. I'm going to go to the hole and score. Like, all right, we're going to take that away. Then I'm going to shoot over you with a 3. And then we're going to kind of double-team you and blitz you, and he'll just do like a little left-handed hook pass to Ryan Anderson, who's 35 feet from the basket, who just knocks it down. Like, the assists were just as highlight-worthy as the passes. The question remains this, though, is if you're CP3 and you're watching this and you see this dynamo on your team who plays the same position, how do you feel about it?
I'm a huge fan of the future Hall of Famer CP3. A big-time JRLA supporter, too. I appreciate the love. But I never felt that Houston was the best fit for him on paper. I've talked about this the entire time. Just like I talked about on this program, I didn't think Dwayne Wade's future will be in the starting lineup for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And you just detailed why. James Harden is best at this point of his career when he's the primary ball handler. He dribbled the ball over 600 times in the game you just described. The rest of the team dribbled less than 200, which means that Chris Paul would be a guy that would be trying to handle the ball. This is why he's an 18, 9, and a couple of steals guy throughout his Hall of Fame career. So based on that, he's not the catch and shoot, spot up type of player that's going to touch the ball every 3 or 4 possessions like Ryan Anderson or Eric Gordon, and his game be as efficient. That's just not who he's tailored to be.
They said that he would be back in 4 weeks. Oh, I don't know, about 2.5 weeks ago. Like, what do you think's going on with CP3 there?
For those that follow this program, you know it's going to be broken news. They initially said 2 to 4 weeks. I came on wax and said it was going to be at least 6 weeks. And that's the prognosis I'm standing by.
So there was this play in the matchup between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Portland Trail Blazers that got a lot of attention. You see Carmelo Anthony drive past Vonleh, and then Nurkic comes over to help D. Carmelo Anthony absorbs the contact, makes the basket, a crazy bucket, and as he heads to the line to shoot his free throws, they review the play and give him a flagrant 2. And eject him from the basketball game. Jalen, when you watched this, what did you think?
Did not deserve to be ejected because he's the first person to be put in this position. But in the future, later this season and next season, this exact act will lead to players being ejected. And here's where I'm going. Whether it's being Jalen Rose like Kobe Bryant, you can't walk underneath a shooter because it's really dangerous. We saw Zaza Pachulia do it to Kawhi Leonard in last year's playoffs. Now it's a rule. Back in the day, when you get close to a jump shooter, Kobe Bryant was famous for doing this. You do the follow-through, and you smack the player with your forearm or your elbow. For those that haven't scored a lot of baskets, let me basically tell you what one of the all-time great scorers, Carmelo, did. Who, by the way, actually made the shot. He could have went baseline and actually had a ferocious highlight reel dunk because he had that level of elevation and the left side of the hoop was actually open to him. In today's game, if you're going to get a flagrant 2 foul for elbowing somebody in the head that does not have the basketball, it's not going to be that much different in today's game after this when the player does have the ball. But since he was the first player to do it, I don't think he should have been ejected. He went towards Nurkic. He did not only create the contact, elbow him in the face, but he also reached out and he doubled down on it and showed the level of elevation where he still finished it, which made it a great move.
So let's be honest.
I understand where it came from. It should have been a flagrant 1, though, not a flagrant 2.
So let's be honest. You're someone who has played in the NBA for a very long time. When you have the ball, with the ball in your hands, do you sometimes aggressively create contact with intent to get the foul and also maybe put a little damage on your opponent?
I always had to do it because I was not a leaper. And if you look at somebody like James Harden, that's why he's able to get to the free throw line so many times. A lot of players who are able to do that, That's a level of patience. It's almost like when you see Le'Veon Bell allow his hole to open up before he actually hits it. Or Ezekiel Elliott. It's the exact same thing when you're driving towards the basket. You see where the contact's coming from. You see where the help's coming from. I'm going to create the contact because getting the bucket just isn't enough. I want the bucket and the foul. But Nurkic was in front of the hoop. So therefore, Carmelo extended, and it wasn't a normal basketball play.
Let's take a listen to the league's official explanation of this call.
The officials felt it was a little bit of an unnatural act, and there's a very high potential for injury. He brings his left elbow down and points it right into him and makes contact right to the middle of his face, down by his teeth.
I get it. Like what he said was factually true, but that doesn't seem like an ejectable offense. You know what I mean? It's like that's a flagrant one. You may have tried to do it. You may not have. You made the basket. It's not like he came down with the ball and tried to get just a foul. Like he made the bucket. That should not be a flagrant two.
I'm not rolling with the explanation, but also as a former player that performed in a different era, the same goes for you as a fan. This is where the game is going. Resting healthy players, ejecting players when they have the ball, when they elbow another player. It's no different than if you're standing on the sideline and you're being trapped and you swing your elbow and you hit the person. You can't now judge the intent because what if Nurkic would have got a bloody nose or knocked his teeth out? Then everybody would say, well, I understand why it's a flagrant. But since he made the shot, and he got ejected, this is where the officials got it wrong. They went too far the other way. So here's what's going to happen. The league is going to rescind the flagrant 2. He's going to get a flagrant 1. And in the future, when these things start to happen, like I said, don't be surprised if it's called that way.
Jalen, why is Ty Lue carrying a ring around in his mouth the way Birdie carried around a razor blade?
That's classic above the rim reference. Get your weight up, youngsters. Download that flick. All-time classic. With that being said, people are overreacting to this.
What?
It's a mint.
What? That's a mint? You think it's a lifesaver? That is something I have not heard yet. Lifesavers are a bit out of style in today's day and age. That could possibly be a lifesaver, which makes it a lot less disgusting than his wedding ring. Jalen, I cannot believe you just solved this. I cannot believe what. You got props. Carrot Top got props today. Wow.
Cement.
I was so excited about this being his wedding ring because I fidget with my ring all the time. I take it on and off. You know, and I just like fidget and I fidget. I thought part of his oral fixation / fidgeting was to put his wedding ring in his mouth, which is absolutely disgusting. But it makes a lot of sense that it's a mint. That's just, you're old. No one eats lifesavers anymore, Jay. It's Mentos time.
Well, let me tell you what you shouldn't be doing.
What's
taking
that?
Your ring on and off when we out having adult beverages.
I'm not that dude. I'm not the go to Vegas, take the ring off dude. That's not how I get down, and you know that. Next.
Love you, Joy.
The Atlanta Hawks. Oh, she doesn't watch. The Atlanta Hawks had one win. They had won one basketball game before going into Cleveland to face Ty Lue, his Mints, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Guess how many wins they have now, Jalen Rose?
I like what you did there. They have one.
They have 2 wins after going into Cleveland. And after another collapse, after another meeting, after another news story, Dwayne Wade had this to say about his team's starts.
It's no secret we're starting games off awful, terrible. And, they got it going early, and the effort or the focus just wasn't there. Our first unit, we got to start off better. We got to, I want one time for the first unit to get on the second unit because we blew a lead. I'm waiting for that day to happen.
He's just sitting there laughing at the first unit, creating division between the two. Why is he doing this, Jalen Rose?
I'm really surprised he handled it this way. And not only did he mention it, he doubled down 2 more times on it. This is something, as the leader of the Miami Heat, he would have never done. We started to see traits like this happen in Chicago, and hindsight is always 20/20. This is one of those press conferences where you go into the locker room and you apologize to the squad. I guarantee you, behind the curtain, he makes sure, as one of the leaders of the squad, a future Hall of Famer, LeBron James's brother, that came there to run with the squad, who, by the way, not only is he part of a power couple, which we endorse on this show, he started off in the starting lineup.
He did.
So therefore, you can't be the guy that gets taken out of the starting lineup and then you take shots at the starting lineup. And then you say, I'm waiting on the day where the starters can get on us for blowing the lead.
He sounds salty. Like he does this uninterrupted video where he pours out his soul saying, I just want to help. I just want to be a part of the solution. That doesn't seem like being part of the solution, Mr. Wade.
And let me just also put this on wax. That officially acknowledges that when he said he doesn't mind being a substitute for the Cleveland Cavaliers, that he wasn't being genuine.
Oh, yeah. He definitely minds. Also, Kevin Love is now saying that Dwayne Wade is right to criticize the starting unit. What do you think about that wrinkle, that Love is co-signing this behavior?
Because he's a part of the starting unit. And everybody understands when they're struggling and they need to do better. It's no different in football. The defense can't criticize the offense, who can't criticize the special teams and do it all publicly without bringing us into their locker room. It's the same dynamic.
Moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were getting excited, getting fired up for their game against the Saints. You know, every team gets fired up in their own little way. And Jameis Winston, well, he did this.
Let's go. That's a W. That's E1. That's E1. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight?
That's a W. What is he doing? What was that?
First and foremost, hold on.
Wait, what's happening? Jalen, you okay?
Roger Goodell's on the phone. Jameis Winston. Oh, that's a failed test.
That's a failed test.
No question about it. So just send the FedEx to his house, take the money out of his check for a couple of reasons. You could tell he was on one, and look at how it ends. This is what I always talk about. The energy you are is the energy that you breed. He started off the game with that, talking about let's eat a W. First off, nobody wants you to lick their fingers and give them dap. Second, he tried to do that, and the dude's looking at him like, I'm good. The next thing is, you're actually the quarterback. You're the leader. We don't want you throwing us the football after you've been licking your fingers. And lastly, that just don't even make sense what you're doing. That's number one.
Here's why it makes sense. Here's why it makes sense, Jalen. If you put two crab legs together, you get a W.
I see where you went there. I like that. It was okay. But here's the other reason why you can't do that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers was one of those squads that coming into the year, people wanted to get ahead of the bandwagon and pick them to do big things, talk about their offseason acquisitions on both sides of the football. Well, they're not meeting expectations.
2-6.
And as a quarterback, he's not playing the way that we anticipated after the hard knocks and all of those things happened in the offseason.
Well,
so now, when you're not playing that well, it ends up the way it did at the end of the game, where you're frustrated, you're pointing at a player for another team. Mike Evans comes to have your back because he's frustrated also. Now, all of a sudden, he's suspended for a game. Jameis Winston is being shelved because of a shoulder injury for a few weeks. It's all bad for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if their hopes was to make the playoffs and meet expectations.
Jalen Rose, it is time for soft move or boss move. In Sunday's game against the Cowboys, the Chiefs' Travis Kelce scored a touchdown. It is the Chiefs and Kelce running an imaginary potato sack race. Some people have celebrated this. It caused a debate in the Jalen Jacoby staff. So you settle it, Jalen. Potato sack race, soft move or boss move?
I was watching the Chiefs to see if they were going to be able to take care of the business against the Dallas Cowboys. A disappointing loss, first and foremost. I was paying attention, really cheering for the fact Kelce scored because he's on my fantasy team. Disappointed that Tony Romo had the audacity to take a shot at Deion Sanders, who I will not deal with any slander surrounding the all-time great's name. So with that being said, sack dance, soft move.
It's a soft move. It's a soft move. It's like you guys practiced all week on that celebration. That's what you came up with. I feel like I should be paid as a consultant for touchdown celebrations. I'm available for a fee. Next, Then the New York City Marathon happened over the weekend. It looked a little chilly out. A female American won for the first time in a long time. But of the 50,000 people that participated in the marathon, this was the most important person the entire time. This young man with a huge neon hat and a huge neon sign, the sign reading, "Nobody poop." Jalen, the "Nobody poop" sign at the marathon. Soft move or boss move?
You have to answer this as the person that's on this program that's actually run a marathon.
It's not only a marathon experience that I have on this one, it's also parenting experience, which we both have. If this is my son's idea, no problem, go for it. But if it's my idea and I give him the son and he doesn't even know what it means or even care, then it is a soft move. But if it's his idea, it's a boss move. And very quickly, I want to ask you a question. First of all, I'll say, I don't think marathoners actually poop. I've only run one, but I think that's something that people talk about that never really happens in real life. However, before the marathon, do you remember which color shorts I wore?
Black shorts.
Just in case. You never know. You know what I mean? There's no room to bring a spare pair with you, so I wore the black shorts just in case, something happened. Let's move on.
One of my favorite visuals of your amazing family was to see them hold a sign in your support while you were running the marathon, and to answer whether or not your son holding the sign and knew what it says was a boss move. I'm rolling with you, it is, because I'm pretty sure Q know what pooping means.
Yes, he does. That's his main source of humor, to be honest with you. Next, Sean Combs has changed his name again. The man who has been Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, Sean John, Puffy, P. Diddy, Papa Diddy Pop, Diddy, King Combs, and Swag, is now calling himself Love, a.k.a. Brother Love, to reflect the new person he has become. Changing your name again, soft move or boss move?
They did a Forbes list of entertainers and or rappers. Where did he rank on that list?
You know I don't like follow-up questions that require research, but I'm going to say top 5.
He was number 1, boss move. Call me whatever you want if I got the number 1 spot.
No, that's a soft move, and you cannot make up yourself a new nickname and then give an AKA to your new nickname. You know what I mean? That's too many layers. No, you can't call me Love, AKA Brother Love. Which one is it? You just gave yourself one name. I don't need a surname to that one.
It doesn't sound like a nickname when he actually changed his name, which makes it his real name.
Finally, we don't have time to tell you the whole story, but essentially John Lynch called up Bill Belichick and asked for Bill Belichick to trade him Jimmy Garoppolo. He said no. So then John Lynch called back and said, "Will you trade me Tom Brady?" You'll never believe this, but Bill Belichick said no. However, shooting your shot and trying to trade for Tom Brady, soft move or boss move?
That's a boss move.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, they trade away overvalued veterans. And at this point, you never know. Maybe he'll trade Tom Brady. They've done crazy things in the past.
You might as well throw it out there.
Thanks so much for watching today. We will be back tomorrow. Jalen Jacoby on ESPN 2.
Thank you. You're far too kind.
Computer, execute 12.4p operation.
Optimizing algorithm. Running encryption packet alpha. Night. Oh, I don't feel so good.
What is it, computer?
Is it hot in here? It feels hot in here. I feel a little clammy. I should lie down or something.
A computer with a virus? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
Those oysters Rockefeller were a mistake.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15%.